Hello, and welcome along to the stream tonight. I hope that everyone is doing well. The main intention for this stream tonight is to look at some of the ongoing issues with the documentation site for GitVersion. So for those of you who are not familiar with it, if I were to go to github.com/gettools/GitVersion, then GitVersion is a tool that attempts to assert a semantic version number for your project, your repository, based on the history of that repository. So it's a command line executable. It can run as a full-fat.NET Framework application. It runs as a .NET Global tool. It has GitHub Actions, various other implementations that makes things work. So as Stevie's saying in the chat room there, is that it's black magic. Yes, it does. So it attempts to assert a version number for you so that you don't have to worry about it. So it'll take into account consideration things like what tags you've got on your repository, how many commits you've got on your repository, what branch you're on, whether you're following Git flow, all sorts of things. Okay. Hello Nils and hello Pascal in the chat room. So the reason that I wanted to look at this is it's been on my to-do list for a little while now, but there was an issue created a while back earlier this year that there was some missing redirects on the website. So it was mentioned in our Gitter chat room, and it was noted that there's some missing redirects. So let's jump into a little bit of the sordid history of the documentation for the GitVersion project. So the project first started out using a documentation website called ReadTheDocs. So ReadTheDocs is quite clever. It's also a little bit of black magic going on. It can be hooked up to look at your Git repository, and then based on a configuration file that you give it, it will create some documentation from markdown files and make a website for you. It worked really well for a long time, but at some point, we as a team decided that we wanted to switch to using Wyam, which will ultimately become static, to generate the website for all the documentation. Now, what we didn't necessarily do, although we did it to an extent, is we haven't fully implemented the redirects from the original ReadTheDocs website through to the new website. So if, for example, you search for GitVersion and documentation, you get various different links. So luckily, the top one that comes up is the GitVersion doc site, which is what we want. But if you drill down and start looking for things a little bit more specific, like the usage, so this one will correctly redirect, because what we've done within the ReadTheDocs configuration is that we've applied a redirect from where the versioned or the cached location is to the new one. That's great. But if you drill down to some of the other ones, so for example, there was one here that wasn't quite working the way it was meant to. This one. No, that's a project. I thought I had one that wasn't working the way it was meant to. Maybe it was configuration I was searching for rather than that. So if we click on this one, then yes, this one takes, so that is a saved cached URL in the Google ecosystem, that file no longer exists. Now, previously, before I came on stream tonight, that would have likely taken you to a previously existing version of the documentation on the website, on the ReadTheDocs website. Now, that was happening because at some point in the past, we as a project moved away from using master as the name of the main branch, and we switched to using main as the branch name. Now that caused a problem in the read-the-docs configuration because it was still looking for the master branch and it wasn't figuring everything out. So I fixed that just before we came on the stream, so there's no longer a page there, but what we have now is essentially a broken link because we haven't got a redirect in play for that page. So the first thing that I'm going to need to do is I'm going to need to go through all of the pages that previously existed, and if it doesn't already exist, I'm going to need to put in place a redirect for that to work. So that's a 301 redirect, so a permanent redirect from ReadTheDocs over to the new website. Now the slight issue there is that there's not a one-to-one page mapping. So if we go back to, where was it? If we go back to a page that I had earlier, if I copy this and paste this over here, then if I scroll down to where we had the, why is that not showing me what, oh, here it is. If I open up this mkdocs.yaml file, this is the, or rather these are the pages that existed, and these are the URLs that likely need to get redirected to the equivalent pages on the new page, on the new site. However, there's not a like for like, so there is no usage command line anymore. So for example, the usage command line is now usage CLI. So there's a bit of a difference there. Now the other issue is now on the new website. So we're using Wyam to generate the new docs. Now this recently, more recently than the ReadTheDocs switchover, there's been some changes to the website itself, the structure of the website, to make it easier to find stuff. Now what we haven't done is we haven't added in the internal redirects within the Wyam documentation site to have it go to the new place. So for example, if I were to look at some of the redirects that exist in here, then if we were to go to, for example, this one, I think. So we have a redirect in play that says, if there is anyone comes in to read the docs, it says latest build server support build server team build, then we should point them over to the build server support page. That build server support page doesn't exist on the new site. That's because if we go over here and we look at reference build servers, then this one is most likely where that one was meant to go. So, and as Neil said, yes, welcome to the web of redirects. So what I'm going to attempt to do is I'm going to attempt at the very least to fix up all of the existing redirects that we have. So I'm going to go through, unfortunately, I'm going to go through each of these hard redirects. So if I look here for GitVersion.net, then there are unfortunately 198 redirects directly to GitVersion.net, and I'm going to ensure that each of those ones exist, and if they don't exist, I'm going to put a soft redirect in place on the Wyam website, so it redirects from that page to the new page if I can find one. And then what I need to do is I need to go through and add additional 301 redirects in the GitVersion site so that everything flows through. So it's not going to be a particularly exciting stream tonight, but I'm going to attempt to answer any questions if anybody has any. If anybody has suggestions on how I can make this easier on myself, I'm all ears. But essentially, this is what I'm planning on doing tonight, because as I said, this has been on my cards for a little bit, and I want to get it off my to-do list so that I can then concentrate on other things. So that's what we're doing. Feel free to shout out if you've got any questions. If not, I'm going to carry on. So yeah. If there's an easier way to go through and open all the links on a page, I'd be open to hear that as well, because for now, like I say, I'm going to go GitVersion .net, GitVersion.net, and I'm literally going to say, oh, I thought I could open that in a new page. Obviously not. Paste. That one works. Beautiful. This one. That one doesn't work. So this one is versioning modes continuous deployment. So if I go to GitVersion.net and we look at docs, then what we're looking for there is versioning modes. So versioning modes is in here, and the one that we're looking for is continuous deployment. So that now exists under reference modes continuous deployment. So where we went reference versioning modes, this is where we now need to reach into the Wyam configuration. So under reference modes continuous deployment, this one, within the front matter, we now need to add a redirect from, and then in there, I want to put that, I think. Now what I need to remember is whether that needs a relative or a that's not the one I want. Whether that needs a relative or an absolute URL. But if I go into, here's one I created earlier, then in here, for example, and under here, and I look at raw, then redirect from is there. So it doesn't have a slash on the front. So what I then need to remind myself is whether that needs, so Pascal's also saying that relative works in the chat room there. But if I were to look again at this one, then GitVersion docs, boom. So that should then be from the root of docs, correct? Because everything within docs is what gets generated, I think. Or do I need to have, is that there? Yeah, I think I do too. So if I then do that, hey Francis, how's it going? Good to see you again, and +1 for docs. So that's that. Now the way to test that would be to push out a build, but I don't necessarily want to do that yet because there's going to be a few of these, but I do want to test these locally. So if I were to go and have a look at the build.cake file for this thing, then there is a docs preview documentation. Let's try this and see what this does. So if we copy this and go into here and go into build.ps1 target equals preview documentation, then this, hold on, not sure what that error there was, but let's see if the build works. So what I'm attempting to do here is I'm attempting to build the documentation site locally and preview it locally, so that I can test out that redirect to make sure whether it works. And if it works, I'll be able to start going back through that list, because I'll know then that there'll then be a soft redirect from the previous page to the new page. So let's see what happens. Now I remember there being some, I don't want to call it oddity, but I want to see what it does when it tries to do just a preview of the documentation. I remember last time I tried this, it did some other stuff. Yeah, it's doing the build when I don't necessarily want it to do the build. But that could be because, no, it's not. I was going to say that could be because it's attempting to generate the documentation for the assemblies, because that's the other thing that Wyam does, that Wyam will attempt to generate documentation for you based on the XML comments contained within assemblies of the project, but that shouldn't be what's happening here. So in those failed unit tests, I don't necessarily care about them just now. So what failed? Are they all loaded, or do you need to choose one? So those build, so that builds are there. There is a build.cake file at the root, and then it loads in the other ones from that folder. So I went into there because I knew that the docs one was in there, but I also know that its reference contained within that. So it should have picked that up. But I'm wondering the error that it initially had, which was a positional parameter cannot be found that accepts the argument build.config. Build.ps1 build config. I think this is going to bomb out the unit tests not passing, but like I said, I don't necessarily care about the unit tests now, because what I'm worried about is the I'm going to say that I'm going to change this to be that then. No, that causes the same problem. So let's do exclusive so that it'll just run the preview documentation, hopefully. If that helps. If not, we could always just run the Wyam tool directly and have it run the site. That's still doing the setup. Here we go, preview documentation. There we go. So here's Wyam kicking in. That's the droplet of the old Wyam project. For those that don't know, Wyam was a project that was headed up by Dave Glick. It's now transitioning into a rebranded implementation called Static, but GitVersion is still using a slightly older Wyam tool, but at some point we'll obviously be switching to Static once all the pieces are in play over there. I believe I'm right in saying, Pascal, that Dave's getting close to that first release of Static, but we'll see. How long this takes to spin up. There's not a lot of documents in the GitVersion docs, so the actual generation of the site itself shouldn't take that long. But what it's doing on this initial run through, is it's downloading a bunch of helper packages or helper assemblies to help with the generation of the site. Once they're done, the first time you don't need to do them again. What the end result of this is it will be a locally running version of the website, and it outputs the URL at the bottom of the output. It'll give us a URL that we can access. And Pascal's saying that the XML docs part, so the part that I mentioned earlier, the XML docs part is the part that's not quite ready in Static yet. So here's the URL. So if I grab that and we go over to here, then what we should have is a locally running version of the website, which is the exact same as the one that's currently up on the GitVersion.net website. And if we go into reference, versioning modes, and continuous deployment, that should work. But if we go back to the page that wasn't working previously and put that into here, and hopefully what should happen is that. So there was a soft redirect. So that's one thing that's kind of missing in Wyam Static, is that because it's rendering an entire website for you and there's no server really in play, it does a soft redirect. So what I mean by that is it's a meta refresh on the page itself. So if I do that again, what you'll see hopefully is a quick flash, and that flash is the meta refresh happening on the client side to a new page that's redirected to. So what Wyam did, if we have a look at the output, so we go into this PC, we go into here, we go into GitHub, we go into organizations, we go into Git tools, GitVersion, then docs will have an output folder. It's in the artifacts folder, I think. So documentation, docs, reference, and then the URL that we put it into was versioning modes. So if we have a look at this file, this is the file that that Wyam generated for us. And it's literally, here's a meta refresh to the actual place that we wanted to go to. So having done that and proven that it works, it's then let's go and fix all the other ones. So we did that one. Let's go and have a look at this one. See if this one works. And again, that's the same one, isn't it? That was versioning modes, continuous deployment, but one is from reference continuous deployment and the other one's from MD. So that one's the same. So we don't need to worry about that one. So actually, let's make this a little bit easier on ourselves and say any of those that are the exact same, we can skip over them. So this is going to be reference versioning modes / continuous deployment. So there's one here for continuous delivery. Let's see if that's suffering the same consequence. And it is. So we want docs continuous delivery to then be redirected from here. We're going to go back into here and we're going to say redirect from, and we're going to put that in. Now the thing, what will happen is if I save this, Wyam's then going to regenerate the site in the background. So it's the way that Wyam got set up there was it's watching that input folder. So if anything, any files change in there, it's going to regenerate the website for us. Hey Arthur, how's it going? GitVersion documentation stream happening right now. Mentioned at the start that there's a kind of a twofold problem. So at the minute I'm working on redirects of the redirects. So within the ReadTheDocs configuration, there is some redirects to 404 pages since the documentation change that Asbjorn did. So I'm fixing those ones. So on our local version, if I now go to continuous delivery, that still works. But if I go to the one that we just put in, which is this one, then it'll redirect over. So that one's now fixed as well. So now we continue on. So that's continuous delivery. And let's have a look at this one then. So there's a few of these ones. So that one goes to a 404. So mainline development, I'm going to copy that and I'm going to bring it over to here. And this is going to be mainline. So I'm going to put in a redirect from to here. So again, that's going to kick Wyam off to regenerate the site. One thing I should mention, Arthur, I can never remember if it's Arthur or Artur, I do apologize. The ReadTheDocs configuration was broken. So just before I came on stream, I fixed that. So now if you were to go to GitVersion ReadTheDocs.io, whereas previously you would have had a huge breadcrumb or navigation menu items for lots of items within the ReadTheDocs website, that's now fixed because Asbjorn had already fixed that, and because he generated an empty mkdocs.yaml file. The problem was that had never been built because we'd done the whole master to main branch name switch, but that's now working. So anyone who goes to the root of gitversions.readthedocs.io will be redirected over here, which is where we want them to. So that's good, or it's a start anyway. If I close off some of these. So then we were in mainline mode, which was this one. And then if we go to mainline development, that redirects, so that one's now working. So down here, that's these ones. Let's do this one. hoping that this is going to be a pattern actually. So versioning mode. So where does that take us? Versioning mode, that's just the root, so that's this one. So versioning modes. So if we go over to here, then that one will be this one. So if we do a redirect from docs reference modes, that'll regenerate the site. And then once that's up and running, let's just make sure that that works. So version modes is there. That causes a little cyclical redirect. I've had that happen before. How did I fix that previously? That's the wrong redirect. Docs reference modes, is that docs reference modes? No, it's not the wrong one, or did I? Oh, sorry, my bad. So I caused a little cyclical step away. Nothing to see here. Let's let the let's let the site redirect back. Let's fix that. Let's have the site generate itself. Thank you, Nils. So now we're back to here. So where's Chrome? Chrome's here. Hopefully that's so docs reference modes is there. But if we go to here, which is docs reference versioning mode, version mode, that will take us to the top level. There we go. Quick, no one saw. It's not as though it's been streamed live onto the Tinterwebs, is it, Francis? No, it's fine. Nobody saw. So that's that one. Let's have a look at this one. Pull requests. That goes to an empty page. So reference pull requests. Where would that have went to? Learn. Where would that have gone to? Oh. That was an empty page previously. So I'm just looking, I should maybe bring this over. So in the original pull request where we brought some of this work in, if we have a look on this page for pull requests, then there was a page on here that said needs some more information here. Now I'm going to assume that we don't have that. So I'm going to take the what's the word I'm looking for? I'm going to take the executive decision, Arthur, that in the absence of a missing page, we redirect folks to the home page. So there's still a redirect in play. We won't go to 404, but we'll go to the root of the documentation page. Does that sound okay? I'll look for a quick nod of the head before we do that. Saying fine by me, beautiful. So if we go up to the index here, that won't work there. So is it this? That must be this one I'm looking for. Yes. So if we do redirect from in here and put, that's obviously not going to work. We go back to here and we look for nope, everyone's opinion counts here, Francis, don't you worry. So I'm going to say redirect from there. So once Wyam's finished generating, we'll test that one out, make sure that that's working the way we want it to. go. So we're back onto here and we go to our locally running site and we say docs reference pull requests. That will redirect us back to the home page of the docs. So it's not ideal, but it gives us something to work on. So we fixed that one. So that's pull requests, feature branches. That goes to a 404. See what that went to before. Feature branches. That was an empty file, so I'm going to say that that one is not. That needs to go to the home page as well. So what we end up with here, if I remember the syntax, this becomes that, and this is going to become a list of redirects. Let's let Wyam do its thing again. And let's copy that URL and test it out once the page is built. Go back to here and into here. Feature branches takes us back to the home page. Beautiful. Feature branches, that's that one. Git setup. A few of these. Git setup takes us to a 404. Back into here and we'll say git setup. Load the diff. So this had something in it. Upstream. Do we have something similar to that on the actual site? Rinse. Oh, we do. Git setup is there. Beautiful. Okay. So that means then if we go into docs learn, which is this one, docs learn git setup, this one here is going to be a redirect from the URL that I don't think I've got on my, oh we do. So that then goes to here, or from here. Since Pascal is on the we chat room there, one thing I did wonder, Pascal, is there any reason that we wouldn't be able to set up an Algolia search for GitVersion? I don't think there's any reason that we shouldn't be able to, but I wanted to run it past you before I suggest it to Artur and Asbjorn. That's not going to work, is it? Because it's not the live site. So here, go here. Beautiful. So I don't know if you've seen it, Arthur, but if we were to go to cakebuild.net and we were to look up here and we were searching here for, I don't know, build, then this index, this search index, is being generated by this search system called Algolia, and it's free for open source project, and it's something that Pascal has implemented on the Cake website, on the Cake issues website, and we've recently added it onto the docs.chocolati.org site. So if you search up here and you search for Windows, then this search index is generated by Algolia as well. So actually, I think I talked myself out of that. Oh no, that it does have the API. Or do we publish that? So okay, so there is still the API. So yeah, that's. I'd be okay with it not working brilliantly across the API, but if we could get it working across the documentation section of the site, I think that would be good. So what I'll do then, Arthur, is I'll add that to my list, because we have to make a request to the Algolia system to include us within their search index. So there's a process, there's an approval process we have to go through. But once that's done, it's a very simple addition to the Wyam template to add in that search index to make it work on the site. So we'll get that added at some point, hopefully. Okay. So the one that Pascal is talking about there, if we go to cakeissues.net, then it has an API section. And then in here, if we search for inspect code, I guess, as an example, then that takes us to the docs rather than to the API. I'm assuming that's maybe what he's, Pascal's referring to. Not sure. But I mean, even if it's not, I mean, if someone can type something in here and have it go to a reasonably sensible endpoint, I think that would be good. But yeah, that's something we want to get added. So that was the Git setup one. So if we do this one, which is intro to Semver, I'm going to assume that that's broken too. Copy. And that sounds like something that we've got, which is this one. So redirect from here. Let's just make sure that all of these are continuing to work. Pascal is suggesting if we go back to here, come away from cakeissues.net, and if we search for base issue provider, oh, I see, because it took us to a certain API section. So I mean, it's roughly there. I guess it maybe needs someone to know a little bit ahead of time what to search for, which is fine. Does aliases then pop up in here? Aliases. Oh. Base. Oh, there we go. So there's lots of things with base coming up in the API section. It finds something just not what you probably expected. But as Arthur was saying, is we could start with the doc search. Yes, absolutely. We could start with the basics because there's lots of configuration that you can do within the Algolia system to refine how the search works. I know that Pascal's dug into that quite a bit, so it would be good to show him what we've done. So I think the short answer there, Francis, I don't know. That's maybe something that Pascal can answer. Maybe they bubble up. Don't know yet is the simple answer. Keep that page open. Close out some of these as we're going through them. So we fixed that one. So back to here. So now we're down to this one. Lots of these. That one already works, so we don't need to do anything with that one. Happy days. This one. Oops. Examples complete. That sounds like something we've got a page for. Maybe. Branching strategies, Git flow examples, branching strategies, Git flow examples, Git flow examples. That sounds like what we want to do. Branching strategies, Git flow examples, branching strategies, Git flow. I'm going to say that that's the one. So this is a redirect from this one. We'll let Wyam do its thing. And the metadata is not that helpful because title does not contain the symbol name. Gotcha. Oh, but that's part of the template, and that's one of the things that you've spoken to Dave about, is controlling or providing more meaningful information within the page that can be searched on. And yes, Pascal's saying that you can rank stuff. Here's the config file for the Cake website as an example. Page rank is used to promote stuff. I'm not going to bring that into page because that means copy and pasting from where I am just now, so I'll maybe come back to that. But if we go back to the local site, which is here, no, that's not the local site at all. The local site is here. If we search for this, then that'll take us through to Git flow examples. Beautiful. That's that one. Copy, paste, creating, updating examples. Git branching strategies, creating, updating examples. Creating, I don't know what that page would have went to. Well, let's have a look here at this one. Creating, updating examples. What did this have? This had the examples are generated by, let's have a look and see if we've still got mention of plant UML here. So this is the page that we want. There we go. So this one, redirect from, is this one. We copy that and let Wyam do its thing. Time we've got, we're 43 minutes in. Progress is being made, which is good. So if we go back to our local one, which is not that one, which is this one, into here and do this, then it'll take us to there. There we go. Next one. This one, copy, paste, tab, 404, converting to GitFlow. I saw that one. Converting to GitFlow, yes. So let's do this and say redirect from, and then this can go here, this can go here, save that, make sure that that's working. Pascal, you can also have multiple searches on the page, searching only part of the index. Cake BuildNet DSL is an example for this, which only searches through aliases. Yes, I think I remember you telling me about that when you did that at the time. Converting to GitFlow, that one's now working. Copy, paste. That's going to be broken too. Copy, strategies, Git hub flow this time. So redirect from here, save that, let Wyam do its thing. We're getting into a little routine here. Hopefully we can get through these, and if we get through these, then it'll be a case of looking at redirects from ReadTheDocs.io to the website. So if we go back to our local one, which is here, and we do this, then that takes us to Git hub flow examples. So then we do this one. Git flow examples. So let's, I think we've just got this. Git flow examples is this one. We already had that one, but let's see how far removed from it it is. Yeah, that's fine. That'll be the same. See that working. Back to here. This one. Have it is. This one. Strategies, GitHub flow. So that's strategies. That would just be here then, would it? Git branching strategies, GitHub flow. Yes, it would be this one. Redirect from here. Let Wyam do its thing. How many groups of 4 have we done now? Because they seem to be in groups of 4, and there was about 119 when we searched for just GitVersion.net. So 100 and that's what math's hard, 20, 25, 30 odd that we need to do. Back to here, back to here. GitHub flow takes us to GitHub flow. Go. Let's do this one. Prove that it's broken. It is. Prove that there's a few of them. Branching strategies. GitHub, Git flow this time. Git flow. That's going to take us to the index. Let's do redirect from this one. Let Wyam do its thing. So to me, the generation of this website is not slow, but one thing that I will say is that in the new version, static, it is lightning quick compared to what is still not a very slow generation of the site, in my opinion. But Dave's done a lot of optimizations in the new version, which significantly improves it. So Git branching strategies overview. So I think that's going to want to take us to the index page of the branching strategies, which is this one. So if we go and do a redirect from on here, then I think where that wants to take us is to the index page that's on this one. It wants to take us here, I think. So if we do this and we say branching strategy overview, it takes us to here. And then from there, there's links to the different places. Even better. Okay, so that's that one. We're working our way down. Branching strategies. Git branching strategies. That sounds to me like it wants to be this one again. So it's going to be a second redirect on this one. We do this and do this. Take that one out. Copy. Save that. No, I didn't. Save that. Let Wyam do its thing. Back to the website. Here is next one. Incrementing per commit. That sounds like a reference. Version increments. Let's have a check of here. Incrementing per commit. More info. Let's just see if we can find anything about that. Version increments is where that wants to go. That was this one. Goes here. We're going to say redirect from here. Let Wyam do its thing. So apologies if this isn't a particularly exciting stream, but for me, this is just an opportunity to get this done. So if there's any questions about anything that's happening, feel free to ask. But failing that, I'm just going to keep going with this so that I can get it off my to-do list. Version sources is the one we want here. redirect from version sources. Save that. Wyam do its thing. Back to the site. This one. Version sources. Happy days. Those are some of these ones that we've done. Oh, should I count those? That might give me an indication as to how many more there was left. But increments. That one is one that we've already been in. This one, so that needs to become array. That needs to become this guy. Save that. See what this does. Back on here. Here. Version increments. It's there. Next one. Variables. Not having much luck with variables. This one. I think we've only had one page where the redirect that's in play actually takes us to a page that's not a 404. But we'll get there. I mean, a lot of what these redirects here are is as Bjorn overhauled the docs to make it much better in terms of finding things. But unfortunately, when that redirection, when that overhaul happened, the redirects that I'm putting into play weren't put into play. So that's why it kind of got lost. But we should hopefully only have to go through this process once. And then if we do go through this again, then if we do move things around, we'll have to remember to put these redirects in place so that they can be remembered. So this is one for dynamic repositories. Copy that. Wyam's off and running again. We're getting our money's worth out of Wyam tonight. Back to here. Here. Whether that one works. Go. This one. How it works. Got a page called How It Works. Got a who that's there. How it works. Redirect from here. Copy, save. Feel we're getting close to the end. Might just be a little bit of wishful thinking there, but we'll give it a try. There we go. More info. Broken. The more info, I think we want to go to learn. What do we think? Is more info to reference or to learn? What do we think about that one? More info. How it works. So where did how it works live? How it works was there. So yeah, I'm going to say that that's learn. So more info. Redirect from here. That. What Wyam's up to. here. Docs more info takes us to here. Well, build server support doesn't work. That one takes us to the root of build servers, which is here. Root of build servers is this one. So we're going to say redirect from this one back into here. Delete that one. I'll go to Wyam's building. We go into here, say build server support, it takes us to here. Go. Support configuration docs in where would that one? Is that a reference? Oh, build server. This one. Redirect from here. Copy. GitVersion. Docs configuration. That's just why I'm still building while I did that. Go. Next one. Who takes us to there. I saw a page called Who. Is that under Learn? Yep. Redirect from. Back to here. Docs. Who takes us in there. And then we're at the why. It's going to be a very similar one. Doc why. Right from here. If I get this up as a PR tonight, Arthur, if you're still there, is this something that you would be in a position to review? Well, docs learn why. FAQ. Still have an FAQ page. You have an FAQ page. Arthur saying would be able to, so that's good. Redirect from FAQ. Save. Now, this is not to say that these are all the redirects that we need, but it's certainly a good starter for 10. So go. Docs examples. Is there a top level examples page? That I've been to go here. Examples.m. What did that have in it? Oh, Oh, so this page must have been commingled. That's fine. So there's a page that's been combined to have multiple things in it. What we want then is docs examples that also come from here. That's the top level branching strategies page. Has been obviously been combining a few things. So let's do that one. Docs examples takes us to here. Team City. Doesn't exist. But there is a page called Team City. Saw it. City here. Right. From this one. Save, copy. I haven't created a branch for this yet. I'll have to do that. Reference the issue back again. So localhost. This one, Team City, takes us to Team City. Octopus deploy. Assume that that's not there. Copy. Octopus here. Redirect from here. Save, copy. Has everybody been watching the Olympics? Found myself watching some sports that I've not really got any interest in whatsoever, but it's been good fun. My eldest has been getting quite into it as well. She's been watching a lot of the coverage on the various sports. MyGet isn't there. Copy. MyGet is here. From here. Save, copy. Make sure that this one's working. MyGet, it worked. MyGet Jenkins. Assume that one's not there too. Back over here. Jenkins from save, copy. Head one off. Nils is saying he hasn't had time to watch any of the Olympics because he's been creating plugins for Team City, or reading up on creating plugins for Team City. What specifically? Is this to do with the Team City meta runner that there were some PRs that went into recently? That's also on my list to take a look at, but for reasons I haven't done it yet. This one's been on my list for longer. GitLab. Redirect from. Save, copy. Francis is saying he's been watching Twitch too much. So other than this, I'm not on that often. What else have you, who else have you been watching on Twitch then, Francis? Reference GitLab CI. Okay, there's not much to that one. Oh, there's a PR into this one from Darwin. Darwin Sanjoy's created a PR into this for updating it with new examples, I think, because he's been through a process to get this updated. So there may be a merge conflict if and when we merge this. Continua CI doesn't have anything. Back over here, Continua, redirect, from, save, copy. So the build, the meta runner, so Nils is looking, so perfect. If you're taking a look at that, that'd be great. Because that hasn't been updated in a long time. It was created, I think, I can't remember if it was me that created the original version or not, but yeah, it's not something I've looked at it to see if the technology has changed in a long time. So if you're on that one, that would be great. And then Francis is saying mostly DJs as background when working. Sounds good. So I'm not sure if I like the way you said that, Nils. I'm sorry. This is Bamboo. It's probably still using like the old bootstrappers and stuff, or a custom bootstrapper that doesn't take into account any sort of the tooling that now exists for .NET Global Tool and all that sort of stuff. Very old. Very old. I think I created that when that was 2 jobs ago, when we were using TeamCity internally and we wanted to use Cake. We created the meta runner to help out with that. That's a long time ago. Bamboo, that one's done. Azure DevOps. Copy this one. That one doesn't exist either. Copy. Azure DevOps. Redirect from. Save. Does not work on Linux, Nils is saying. Yeah, that doesn't surprise me. There's no reason that it shouldn't be able to though now. Yeah, that's fair. This one. Azure DevOps redirects. That's good. Genuinely think we're getting close to the bottom now. Up there. No reason to think that that one would exist if the other ones didn't. Redirect from. Save, copy. Close off some of these again. Now that we've got through them. Back to the local one. Paste. Azure DevOps now correctly redirects. I'm going to assume that that's for a top level. Build server support, build server. Build server support, I'm going to put that into the index. Redirect from. Oh, no, we've already got a redirect from there. So we'll change this to a tab. Docs, build server support, build server. There's not a reference, build servers. Yeah, that's going to want to come in here too. So save, copy. Job. No, the one after that, France. Hold on. Am I getting myself confused? No, it would have been the one after that. So not that one. No. Show my age now. And that many jobs. Oh, that didn't work. Is that because of. That's the. It doesn't like the. It doesn't like the trailing slash. So, which one do I want to go to then? What do I do there? Do I put in index.html or do I put in, does that become index.html? Is that how I get that to work for both of them? No, like that one, maybe. I think I've done it before as well. See if this. It was frowned upon. Yes. Let's put it that way, Francis. It was frowned upon. Oh. Oh, that's the live site. So not going to work. Try that again. Okay, so that one now works. And I take that off. That one also works. Okay, cool. That's that one done. Build server support. I think that this page must have gone through a few iterations because it seems like there's a few ways to get to it. So let's add in another one. Copy, save. GitVersion's local one. Sorry, I missed a message from Nils there. I tried to get up to speed with plugin development, would make Cake more visible as it'll be available on JetBrains Marketplace and also hopefully more maintainable than the meta runner. Oh, so it's a different concept. Oh, I see. Okay, so it's not a meta runner. I see. Okay, so I've definitely not played with that side of things. But I like what you're thinking. Yes, that makes sense. There's a few more. I put this in here. Let me make sure I haven't got any duplicates. We've got, then we want index.html as well. I think it's what we want. Pardon me. Back to here. Build server, support that out. Copy. That one works. And then index.html also works. Dragon. Gem. Oh, we're so close. We're so close. So close. So the gem, I think I did see that one. Usage. Do we still have a Ruby gem for GitVersion? I don't think we do anymore, do we? Gem is not supported anymore. Thought that's what we were going to say. Just a gem wrapper around the command line to make it easier to consume from Rake. You want a Ruby gem installed on your machine, blah, blah, blah. Does it still exist, Arthur? Is it still there? Ruby gems. I.e. has it been marked as deprecated? 513. Blah, blah, blah. Versioning. I'm just curious if it's possible to kind of mark this as. Can we change the description up here so that it's clear that it's not maintained anymore? But if we were to go back to. Yes, so it's a good bit out of date. Yes, understood. So the page that we had there was usage gem. So redirects from docs usage gem wants to go to the home page. Or we'll take it to the usage, I think. So we go to this index page and we'll say redirect from here, I think is what we want to do. So anybody looking for gem will go to the usage page to find out how it can be used, and gem won't be in there. I think that makes sense in my head. Back to here, back to here, back to here. Happy days. You get library. Not there. Copy. Would that be this library page? Usage, library. Install with NuGet. Yes, I think that makes sense to me. So in here, redirect from here, save, copy, let it do its thing. Back to here, back to this one, paste. Okay, you get library, this one, MS build task, have one for that, which is this one, redirect from, take this out, copy that, save that. Finish with these ones, I think. Close them off. Wyam is running. Back on it here. This one. MS build task takes this one. Copy. Paste. This one. Command line usage takes us to command line usage. Take us to command line usage. Continuous. Oh, that's a new page though. So in here, command line. Yes. So command line index. This one in here. Redirect from this one. Back to local copy into here. Beautiful. That's that one. This one should work. This should hopefully be the second one that's worked. That one works. That was that one. Usage. Usage. Where does usage go to? Usage would go here. Oh, that one needs to be made into an array. And in here, we're going to put in this one. This close to the end, and I'll send a PR up for review. Back to here, back to here. Here, usage takes us to there. And then hold on. Oh, what have I done? Oh, I see. Oh, I've lost my place. We've just done usage, and then there's another one for usage. Okay. That's why it's getting confused. .next usage is there. And that one works. Okay, so that one already works. Usage, and then this one already works too, right? Surely. Right, okay. Whew. So we're at the end of this list, I think. So let's just clarify, because I messed up a little bit. So we did the command line one, we did the docs one, we did usage, and then just usage. So when I searched for this earlier, it came up in a few places. Yes, it did. Docs usage is that one. Okay, so let's go back and verify that this is now going to work. So the example that was given was, close these off. The example that was given on the main site was if you go to docs, more info, the docs, more info slash increment, I didn't read that, incrementing per commit, incrementing per commit. If I go there, then that doesn't work on the live site. So if I then go to the local site and say incrementing per commit, then it redirects us to the right place. So the issue that's mentioned here, the specific issue that's mentioned here, has been fixed. And that doesn't mean that everything will be fixed, but this specific example will be. So if I go down and stop Wyam, Wyam has served us well tonight. I don't know how many times Wyam has restarted there, but it's done a great job for us tonight. If I do a git checkout -b issue that from the main branch, let's have a wee look through some of our changes here, sanity check them. So let's close all of these ones, close the open editors. So we've added some redirects. This should literally be all that we've added into each of these files. But let's just have a quick sanity check through them all. We also went through them all as we were doing them, so I'm reasonably confident that they are all working as intended. Just make sure that no additional changes haven't snuck in to my changes here. No, it's just different highlight. Phase. Okay. That one's a very popular page. Lots of redirects coming into it. So the thing that we need to remember, Arthur, and if Asbjorn is watching this back at all, if we go through the process of modifying the docs again, we need to make sure that if we're moving pages around, we stick in this redirect from the original page that it needs to redirect from into. So I'm going to say that that's good, and I'm going to say that this is going to be associated with find my add redirects for pages that have, as a result of changes to structure of the documentation site, the original redirects the original, let's be more specific, the original 301 redirects from ReadTheDocs were resulting in 404s within GitHub pages. This PR addresses this by ensuring that Wyam RedirectFrom attribute I didn't think that was enough. Wyam redirect attribute is added to all affected pages so that the end result arrives the correct page. There may be additional changes that to be made to capture all pages. But this commit contains all 301 redirects from the current docs configuration. Okay, I'm going to say that that's enough for that. I'm going to say yes to that. And then I'm going to say git push origin. I'm going to ask Git politely to do what I asked it to do, which is that. I could have done all of that through the GitHub CLI. I keep forgetting that I have it, so I'm just going to do it this way. And I'm going to say that I'm going to request a review from Asbjorn and Arthur. I'm going to say that this provide some information there. So let's get this template right. So template once cut, use the, say that this is my description. Oh, I've lost my, what's there? I'm going to say description. I'm going to say related issue is 2664. Motivation and context. Why is this change required? Attempts to address broken page from Google searches as well as any existing saved URLs to old ReadTheDocs pages. How has this been tested? Went through each page during live stream on Twitch using the preview documentation cake task, and we're going to bring Arthur into the mix. We're going to say witnessed by Arthur, who was present on the stream. Smiley face. Today's screenshots, no. Checklist, go over the following points. My code follows the style. Yep. My change is required to change the documentation. Yes. I have updated. Yes. I have added tests. Nope. All new and existing tests pass. To the very best of my knowledge, yes. And I'm going to say create pull request. And our Slack notification's now going off because I did that. So the other thing that I wanted to look at was, if I close off some of these, oh no, that's maybe the pages I wanted. Never mind. If I do another Google search for GitVersion configuration, then there are some places in here where I start in there, GitVersion configuration. Yeah. So this is an example of a redirect that we will have to put in play from ReadTheDocs to GitVersion, right? Now the reason that these ones happen is, let me take a drink and we'll discuss it. So let me have a little look and say that github.com/gittools GitVersion. Then a few months ago, Asbjorn created this mkdocs.yaml file, and this is essentially empty, right? Now, prior to this, the mkdocs.yaml file contained a bunch of stuff in it, like individual headers and all that sort of stuff, or individual page links. And by default, mkdocs looks within a docs folder. Now, we happen to have a docs folder, which meant that it then created pages that link to input/docs/configuration. So that maps directly to docs, input, docs, and then whatever that other one was, configuration. But then, as a result of the changes that Asbjorn made to the redirecting of the pages, that configuration page now no longer exists at that location, right? Following me so far? So, because I've only just updated the ReadTheDocs configuration to now build from the main branch, we've got this place, we're in this flux where Google now has indexed some of those pages incorrectly, and we need to put in additional redirects for each of those things. You with me? But what I don't know is how far back in time we need to go. So at least one of these ones needs an additional redirect, right? But what I don't know is how far we need to go with this. Do we need to create redirects for every single one of these potential pages that could have come up? Or do we just look at the ones that are coming up in maybe the first few pages of Google, and if there are pages there, we add a redirect for it? What are our collective thoughts on how deep down the rabbit hole we go? Because I don't necessarily want to have to create redirects, and there's probably a limit in how many you can have within the ReadTheDocs configuration. So I don't necessarily want to do them all. Or that build also failed. Why did the build fail? Exit with code 1. That's a unit test, which I didn't touch. Oh. No. I shouldn't have broken anything there. I was going to say there are some unit tests around having there are some unit tests around having specific documentation pages in place, but I didn't move any of those, so those unit tests shouldn't have failed. So I am curious as to why that happened. But if we go back to just finish this off, you can skip Azure pipeline tests. Okay. Oh, okay, fair enough. Okay, so if you're happy though, if you're happy with it, then we'll just chip it in. So what I was going to do, I'm going to add at least one more in here, which is going to take us to the configuration page. So that was one of the redirects that we put in play, I think. So that was this one. So this one, we want it. So let's bring my page back. Let's bring my Wyam back up again. If you're happy, I'm delighted, Arthur. So I've got about 20 minutes left here. I want to get some of these top level redirects from the main search index of Google working. So let's see how these work. Just thinking. So under reference configuration, so back to here, that is our local host. So if we go reference configuration, is there a sitemap.xml for this page? Maybe. No. There's not. How would I confirm that? That's generated by default, isn't it? Sitemap.cml. Really? It doesn't look like we have. I thought Wyam did that automatically. That was the new site that I was trying. That was GitVersion.net. That was GitVersion.net/something. What was I doing there? I was looking at documentation, reference, configuration. So this is where we want it to go to. So if I were to create a new exact redirect from there to there, and from this one to this one. So that was the thing that I was going to check. So if we search here for en latest, and there was en latest input docs. What I'm wondering is if we need to repeat that pattern where it did each of those, or again we just do the ones that I'm just going to do the one at top level. You know what? Sort it. So if I put that redirect in play and hit add, then what should happen after a period of time is that this page will go over to the new one. And I did one of these just before coming online on the stream, and it took a second for it to work, but it did also work. So let's just wait and see if this one redirects. I can't remember how long it took, but it didn't take that long. No, still not there yet. Copy. Give it a sec. Close some of these out while we're here. That's the come on. Copy. Still there. I don't think it kicks off a build. So again, there was a failed build from 1 year and 1 month ago, and prior to that, things were working. I think 1 year and 1 month ago, we switched from the master branch to the main branch, and that's when things stopped working. And then it wasn't until 2.5 hours ago that the build started working again. Not quite yet. I seem to remember it not taking this long. I want to see it work to make sure that I haven't done something silly this time round. Admin redirects. That's the one that we've just added in. GitVersion, en latest docs configuration. No, not quite yet. No, not yet. Go on. Thought it was going to work that time. I'm excited. Oh. There was a slight delay in the page refreshing there at that point. I thought it was going to work, but clearly not. Clearly just tormenting me. Come on. So that one's still working, which is good. Yeah, if you're happy to merge it, I would say go for it. I mean, like I say, we haven't changed the structure of the documentation. We haven't altered any of the content of the documentation. All we've done is have Wyam generate some additional HTML files that have meta refresh tags to go to different places. So if you're happy, yeah, I would say go for it. Really? I would have thought this would have been fixed by now. I'm going to grab this one again. GitVersion.net/ what was it? Doc/ why they didn't put the actual URL in here. Incrementing per commit. Incrementing per commit from the screenshot above. One of the affected URLs is if everything has worked, should redirect. Come on. Why is that not redirect? Did I do that redirect properly? Thought I did. I want to see that work before I start going through this process, because the next kind of thing I was going to do was to look for any of these GitVersion.ReadTheDocs in these links, and then GitVersion.ReadTheDocs. There's none there. GitVersion. One there. Contained one. GitVersion. Well, okay. Would you have an example of said? Is this one of the ones? That's one of the ones we've just put in play. So that one should, no, that one won't redirect. Or will it? Oh no, that one might work now. Come on. Site : what would I would need to now that I've blurted that out, I'm not sure I will help you. Don't know what to say to that. GitVersion site. Oh, I see what you're saying. Let me grab that. Copy. Paste. Let's close off some of these. Hoping that this one's going to start working. Ooh, that one worked. So wherever that's going, that one worked. Home. That one. Where's this try to take us? See, this is an example. This is the input docs one. Copy link address. En latest input docs. So this one doesn't have one for that. This, however, will not list any different pages containing links to the old pages. As in cross-link from another site. Yes, that's fair. That's fair. But the likes of this one that we've just added in here, this would need an exact redirect from there. Oh, I didn't grab all of it. That would be this one, and that we would want that to redirect to GitVersion.net/doc, and that would want to go to here. Add. And in theory, once that kicks in, I don't know how long it takes to kick in, that would then redirect to there. Ooh, that one works. I mean, like I say, I don't know how far we would go down this particular little rabbit hole. But the how it works one took us to learn. There was a page that we said how it worked, wasn't it? How it said to this one, like that, and go back to here. Oh no, that was the redirect. So I did that wrong. Learn how it works. This one. Copy, paste, add. But again, don't know. Oh, version increment. Another one. Exact redirect from that one. Version increments, we decided that went to reference this one. Copy, paste, add. I'm going to get to the bottom of this page, and if it, that's one of the ones we've just added, right? I think we've done that one already. Yes, we've just done that one. Images. That one doesn't have a link. Nope. Exact redirect from here to build servers, Azure DevOps, that one, add. That was Azure DevOps. Overview, copy, don't have that one. So we would need an exact redirect from there to the build servers overview, which is this one. Fairly sure. Oh no, branching strategies. So that is that branching strategies. That was this one. Copy, paste. Okay. That was that one. Okay, last one. Don't have that one. So exact redirect from there. Branching strategies, git flow. Branching strategies, git flow. Takes us to this one. Edit, paste, save. So at some point, each of these pages should hopefully start linking through to an actual page because of a 301 redirect. But I don't know when that happens. So I'm going to assume that if I come in tomorrow, each of these URLs will work. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to bring these onto my local machine, because this is currently a VM that I have in the cloud. So I will test each of these URLs tomorrow morning and see if those redirects work as intended. And if they do, I may set about doing a second page of redirects that are found as a result of that Google search that Nils gave us. But if they don't work, then I will have to dig into the ReadTheDocs configuration to see what's going on. Almost there. And it should be my local. And then there's one more, which is this one. Oh, so none of those are working on my other machine as well. So they're all still not redirecting. But I think, oh, Arthur's merged it. Kraken. So when will we know if that's built? So if we go up to here and we look at the pages branch, then there's no new commit yet, but it looks like it is a GitHub action that's running. So I'm not too bad, a little bit over, but let's wait for this to finish, and then the test will be this link. If this link works, because this link is still currently broken. So if that link works, then things have flowed through. Seems like the publish fails. Don't tell me that. What makes you say that? I'm not seeing a failed publish yet. That's the third attempt. Oh, that's not good. Oh, I see. So what happened here? What happens in here? Blah, blah, blah. What does that mean? No error message has been provided by the native library. What does that even mean? There's a lot of copying and deleting of files going on. An error occurred when executing, pushing all changes. Has the GitHub token changed recently? Because this process will be using a token in order to do the work that it needs to do. Has that changed recently? And if so, has it been updated in the yeah, we might need to change that in the, I'm assuming, the secrets of this repository so that GitHub Actions can pick it up. I'm assuming that then that one's also going to fail. So that seems like it's a potential for that to work. Or to, yeah, I think that's what we need to do. Although this one, oh, that's a PR as well. So when was the last time that it worked from the main branch? 2 days ago. Change within 2 days? Okay. I'll maybe leave that one with you to have a look at, Arthur. And then, oh, Still not working. Nope. If these redirects from ReadTheDocs are working. I'll check that tomorrow morning as well. But for now, that's all I've got for tonight. Not a particularly interesting topic for the stream, but it is something that I've wanted to get done. So hopefully that can all get pulled in and pushed out so that those redirects will start working for the documentation site. So for that, I'm done. Recap, it was lots of copying and pasting URLs, finding the right URL to link to the new location, and we sent a PR up into the GitVersion repository. So that's it. Hope you all have a good remainder of the evening and enjoy the rest of your week. And I'll be back. I have no idea what I'm doing next week. I haven't decided yet, but I will be attacking something else that's on my to-do list. So hopefully see some of you there next week. For now, talk to you all later. Bye-bye.